I was supposed to make the freaking Arlecchino guide, and I saw that people were talking about power scaling child, and then now I'm trapped in power scaling land. What spurred this gorilla stream? Okay, I was on Genshin Impact. I was preparing my Arlecchino guide, right? I was doing my Arlecchino guide. I was doing the recording for the Arlecchino guide. I was like looking at weapons, looking at artifacts, whatever, right? While I was doing that, I remembered that I needed to clear my weeklies. So I went to fight Shadow of Another World with Arlecchino. It sucked, by the way, because I got the Arlecchino mark on the inside guy, on the fellow who lives inside of Monstro, on Geppetto. I got the Arlecchino mark on Geppetto. But then when Monstro spit us out and then I had to beat up Monstro, the Arlecchino mark is still on Geppetto, so I have a 20-second cooldown on Arlecchino's E, so I just don't get to have an infusion.
Infusion.
And it's not good. So I had to rely on the Bennett infusion to kill the whale. And then I went to the Discord to complain about that. And everyone was talking about power scaling child, and I was like, alright, let's talk about power scaling child for a little bit. Gojo solos all of everything because infinity true. Because, like, if you apply the rules of the individual series, you're gonna keep hitting situations like... Okay, so we have basically a basis. So this is gonna be... We're gonna start with the humans. We have the basis for this, basically, which is Arl, which just goes into top, right? Arlecchino is just easily top.
It should have been me, not him!
So Arlecchino just sits at the top, and Arlecchino's just at the top. That's just how this works. But then you have, like, what's going on with them, and that's basically Klee. Klee. You put Klee here. And then you have Child, which is, like, exceptionally trained humans, right? And that's Child. Sino sits here. What else sits here? Do we know what's with Clorin's lore that makes her supernaturally trained? I actually don't know. I don't know the Clorin lore. I apologize.
What the fuck is
Or like, I don't even know. Like, there's definitely a tier here that's like D-Luke, right? And this is like exceptionally trained humans. This is also maybe reasonably where you put Sino, depending on your opinion. But this is where like D-Luke exists. The D-Luke tier, where's Beto? Beto also goes into the D-Luke tier. So Beto goes in there. There's a reasonable argument that Lisa goes in here, because Lisa has this whole mystery about how if she goes her full power level, she's gonna shorten her age. But then her full power level is like outrageously powerful. There's like a bunch of question marks on that. But more reasonably, Lisa goes here. But in like practice, she ends up like over at the bottom because she never does anything. By choice, of course. But Lisa goes in Klee tier. Yeah, that's like what I mean. Like, there's just a million question marks on where Lisa goes. This is also where Albedo goes. Where's Albedo? Is Albedo going here? Does Albedo go above Arlecchino? And you have to keep adding rows below. I'm telling you, this list is going to have a million tiers. Yeah, I'm fully prepared for that. I'm fully prepared for this bajillion tier list tier. So, and then in a well-trained human, so this would be... Where's Kazuha?
Wrong.
Ning, Kazuha, Eula... Trains?
I like trains.
Lamau? Humans? Do you know what I mean? So that's like where all of the Inazuman characters go. Chongyun is here. Xiangling is here. Xingqiu is here. Arguably is here. I don't know. I don't know where you want to put Bendiment. Garo ends up here. Is Ayaka better than Garo in combat? So we get to put Ayaka in this tier. Do you think if Bennett was trying very hard, do you think Bennett could win a fight via the power of his like bad luck? Could he like what's that show? The sequel to Phineas and Ferb? Milo Murphy's Law. Couldn't he like Murphy's Law the enemy?
Wow.
Is that a reasonable combat? And then there's like, these are just humans. Like, these are just like fellas, you know?
All my fellas.
This is like where all of the people who for some reason exist in Genshin Impact and we can use them as combat characters, but they don't actually do anything combat related. Like Layla's here, you know what I mean? Are we considering Nightformy Layla? Does she get a bonus for Nightform Layla? Yeah, okay, fine. Is Nightform Layla like Steve Agent? It kind of is. Wait, Shunha goes into the D-Luke tier, right? I always forget that Shunha is human. Shunha doesn't make sense to be human. Shunha's overpowered. Child Shunha was 1v1ing a demon, right? So surely Shunha goes here. What happens when Shunha takes off the red ropes? So we put Shunha here. The red ropes thing is like, it's the same situation as Albedo. right? Where she like uses the red ropes to prevent her from destroying the planet or whatever. Is Toma trained? I think Toma's trained, but not like like Toma's not war trained, but he's like self-defense trained. So this is like war trained. This is like self-defense. Do you know what I mean? Hazo is very physically strong and caught one of Sarah's arrows in his bare hands. Wait, he did the thing, but with an arrow. So should we put Hazo in the same tier as Sarah? That seems reasonable. Would any children, like by default, House of Heart children be in combat-oriented, well-trained humans? Yes. Okay. So these should all be here. So we can do that. That's pretty easy. And can we put Baiju below? Human but ill. Bro coughs in his sprint. Literally true. Baiju is strong, but all of his strength is being used by Changshen. So if we had a separate tier for Changshen, we can move Changshen higher up. I feel like Sethos has to be supernatural if he's fighting Sino. True, right? Unless Sino was just like not trying. There's like Sino gets debuffed in the story, right? Right? Like it's like the, I don't know if people have watched Black Panther. It's like the Black Panther fight where both of them get the like the juice or whatever, the Black Panther serum, and then they're fighting for the ability to have the Black Panther serum or something and the suit. So it's like that situation. They're fighting for the honor of their Black Panther serum. I'll body Sethos. Okay, cool. Sinyan here. Sinyan doesn't even use her claymore for her burst. Her burst is her literally playing loud music. Chevrus gets combat-oriented. Who wins in Shenhe versus Child? Real question. Red ropes off Shenhe would be pretty competitive with Foul Legacy. That seems reasonable. I agree with this. Kave is just a guy. True, Kave is just a guy. He's just a feeble scholar. So true, so true. Oh, Haitam probably has self-defense training. Haitam is combat-oriented. Does Haitam have war train? Haitam, Ayato, they have the Batman thing going on, you know what I mean? Like, given sufficient preparation, they could probably reasonably beat a D-Luke, you know? Like, if I told Haitam 2 weeks early that he's fighting D-Luke, and then I told D-Luke the day of, Haitam would beat that D-Luke. You know? That's what my brain says. If I told him the same day, like D-Luke would crush him. D-Luke would crush him. Like Ayato, Yai, Nahida, they do the machinations thing. D-Luke doesn't seem to do that. Unless I'm misremembering his story quest. I don't think he thinks about, like, he doesn't plan things out. He's just strong enough. But like, it's possible that he does scheme, we just don't have any story quests for it, and they've forgotten about Mondstadt as a region. Wasn't D-Luke the previous Grandmaster of the Knights? He was Grandmaster tier. He beats Jean right now. D-Luke crushes Jean. Why D-Luke there? Didn't he fight multiple Harbingers? He fought multiple low-tier Harbingers. And it was just a time frame thing, right? It was like a survive situation. Like, he didn't need to beat any of them. He just needed to not die. D-Luke had a delusion. True. Let's put Yelan. Yelan's probably combat war trained. I mean, she's literally in the Secret Service, right? She's probably like high up in this. I cannot argue that Ning goes up a tier, but like lower in that tier. Make your statement. Okay, so remember that fight against Asael and the massive magic circle? Okay, we actually discussed this in the Discord. We decided that that was a show of sacrifice, not a show of strength. She won that fight because she had a Jade Chamber to chuck. If she did not have a Jade Chamber to chuck, she would not be able to defeat a D-Luke level foe. Essentially, Ning has the same situation as Ayato, Haitam, right? Like, given enough time to prep, Ning gets a Jade Chamber to chuck. I want to see Ning chuck a Jade Chamber onto D-Luke. True. Fellas, I have to find D-Luke in 5 days. I need a Jade Chamber ASAP. Yeah, like, wasn't a plot point for Osael the fact that Shenhe was not available to fight Osael? Because I think if Shenhe was available to fight Osael, then we would not need to chuck a Jade Chamber. True, she did 1v1 Osael the second. So, fair enough. If Shenhe was available, she would crush Osael. So if Shenhe crushes Osael, and we think that Shenhe and Child would tie, then Child should also crush Osael. I think Hu Tao goes here, but just doesn't want to fight anyone. Like, I think Tao has the potential to be in combat-oriented well-trained, or maybe even D-Luke trained, but she doesn't. She is not. She herself is not. Kokomi has to go here, but I really struggle to put Kokomi here. Does Beto beating Haishan without a vision not go up one? Beto is here, because I think D-Luke without a vision might beat Haishan. But also, Beto beat Haishan with her crew. It's Kazua's big moment not going to D-Luke tier. It's not about the moment, right? It's about their, like, base level power. It's not like Scaramouche was briefly God tier, so Scaramouche is briefly, like, Arlecchino here, right? But we're not I'm not gonna do that right now because Scaramouche is more reasonably like around here right now, you know? So the Harbingers are tiered according to their power level. So Child here is the 11th Fatui Harbinger, which is the lowest one. Arlecchino is the 4th. And then in the story quest, she doesn't put out her 4 power. It's known that 1, 2, and 3 are God tier, aka like could 1v1 Zhongli and maybe Tai. Maybe not Zhongli specifically, but 1v1 a relatively war combat Archon and Tai for full power. Not Zhongli. Yeah, Zhongli is like the top Archon, so it's probably not the best way to compare. But you know, like what's a mid-tier Archon? I guess it's Venti. Venti's the best explanation. We have to add some tiers above. So this is about where we put Venti, right? This is about where we put Venti. Basically, Zhongli and Nuve just get solo tiers because of how the situation lines up. And it just gets complicated from there. I think this is reasonable. And Raiden probably ends up... I guess Raiden ends up here. I probably should rename this tier because it's like... I guess this would be like War Archon. Zhongli notably says that he's eroded. Raiden doesn't say anything about that. Raiden's just constantly like, yeah, I'm in peak condition or something like that. Yeah, Raiden's actively preventing erosion. But we know that Raiden is weaker than peak form Zhongli. The reason Venti is here is because we don't know what happens when Venti tries, and we needed a middle of the line Archon. And there are none. because our Archons are the God of War, top tier Zhongli. The second God of War, top tier Raiden. Venti, the God of not war, Nahida, and a no longer God Farina. So our Archons right now are very like this is where we can define our power level. Do you remember the second Archon quest, the second Venti story quest, the one talking about that one place where the wind doesn't blow? That's the Abyss, and also he made that. Child is a supernaturally trained human, so we can tie that to other supernaturally trained humans. So from this point down, we can kind of define power levels. Above this is just all question marks. Like this is where Capitano ends up. And currently, our stand-in for average Archon is Venti. Let's get back to the humans, where we know where we can put things. Oh no. I hate this. We have to put Mika and Kokomi in the combat-oriented, well-trained humans, like war-trained humans. But they suck. Let's add a row below. Is that reasonable? Can we put them in here? Can I be rude to them like that? Can I put that there? Rio and Navi are probably ending up in war-trained. There's a reasonable argument Navi goes down. I think Gaming goes up a tier. I don't think Gaming's war trained. Oh, true. Gaming technically has the same combat potential as like Dea, right? Definitely not Dea. Technically, their professions are the same. They have the same profession, so they should be on the same tier. It's like I mean, that's clearly false because Arlecchino is over here and Child is over here. Gaming would kick Micah's butt. Okay, that's a reasonable argument. Let me tell you, Noelle has the potential to be here, but Noelle is currently here. Noelle definitely has the potential to go here. Noelle is supernatural strength, like it's insanely funny, yeah. Probably start need to making some in-between tiers soon. Not gonna lie, I think you could split combat-oriented into higher and lower. What do you think? What would you call higher and lower combat-oriented, I guess? Like, Mika and Amber are war-trained. They're literally trained for war. They're literally trained for combat. They're actually soldiers. But the thing is, both of their roles are to see the enemy and then leave. Technically, Kokomi too, but something about general privilege. Also weird Enkanomiya stuff. Ah, god damn it. Technically, like, Kokomi's power level is also question marks, right? Because Kokomi is maybe a dragon. There's a big question on that one, right? Because Kokomi might be a dragon. Possible sovereign reincarnated. She can't be a sovereign reincarnation because if she was a sovereign reincarnation, she'd be Hydro. Unless you can be an Electro sovereign reincarnation, except also get a Hydro vision. Could Nouvelette generate a Pyro vision if he was very passionate about laws? Do you know what I mean? That sounds fake. I think it's a thing you can do. I don't see any reason why you can't do it. Kokomi is not just... She literally walks on water. Yes, Kaya's a human with asterisks, but also Kaya ties with Diluc when Kaya's in peak form and then Diluc was like on mid mode. Let's check Albedo into question marks while we're thinking about it. Albedo has the whole thing of like, if he does not contain his power, he destroys Mondstadt, so we're just gonna leave him over here. Albedo is Connery and LaCroix. Sarah definitely up. Yeah, literally true, I guess. You got me there. You got me there. Oh, do we have to... Like, this feels weird. I feel like we put Keqing up then, because Keqing has literally fought in wars. I need to rephrase this something else. But it feels weird to have Keqing here. I feel like Keqing beats a few of these. I also think, like, Keqing versus Noelle. Keqing wins Noelle. But that's like brute force versus someone who can dodge every attack. Navia literally has the freaking mobster thing going on. What, like if you're power scaling characters, okay? Where's Al Capone on this list? Where do we put Al Capone on this list?
You come into my house on the day my daughter's to be married.
Like, I think I might reasonably put Al Capone in Has Fought in Wars. And my brain is like, Navia's Al Capone. Again, I'm just thinking, like, I think Al Capone would reasonably defeat Mona in a fight. I guess Mona, that means Mona has to go down. Mona's biggest feat was she saw Scaramouche, identified Scaramouche's power level, and then TP'd us out. Consider Navi has a shotgun. Unironically, consider Navi has a shotgun.
Stupid. Oh my god, that was so fast.
Skirk and Nuve are notably like there's a discussion there. I think Nuve beats Skirk, but there's a discussion. We have a conversation there. Skirk's master is presumably as strong as a sovereign. I think Alice ends up here. I think Alice, Hexen Circle ends up here. I guess Xiao ends up around. See, I feel like Xiao and Child right now tie. I think Varka beats Child. Child says Varka would beat him. Okay, exactly. So we're putting Varka Lamau here. Nahida has, like, if you're in combat with Nahida, you need something so that way you don't get Samsarid. Because if you can get Samsarid, then Nahida beats you every single time. Because if you can get Samsarid, then Nahida just finds the line, and then she kills you in the line. like you got no shot. Nahida is just Doctor Strange, I think. I don't know anything about Doctor Strange. I think you're literally correct. Because, like, we know that, for example, God Form Me Scaramouche is, like, around here. Like God Form Me Scaramouche is, like, around this range. And Nahida, like, in normal combat, is probably just around here. Maybe. Like, there's a reasonable shot that Nahida ends up in the fellows, right? But the problem is, Scaramouche versus Nahida. Nahida Samsaras you, and then Nahida's just casually technically around here. Because if you can get Samsara, then Nahida beats you. Anytime. If no time frame to prepare, Nahida's here. Nahida has like the most power spike from giving time to prepare. I think Ito has the similar thing to Noelle going on. Where like, God, they're powerful, but man, I think Noelle and Ito might literally chuck around Rune Guards. Like, they might play catch with Rune Guards, but their brains are not large. Like, in terms of sheer muscle power, I think Noelle and Shana have the same tier. Because both of them talk about picking up boulders for training and for helping people around. Like, you know, like, if you're, like, a relatively well-built male, you're gonna have occasions in I was gonna say the overworld, in real life, where someone's gonna be like, hey, you are a male who does not look out of shape. Can you help me carry this thing? And the thing is like something that's 20 pounds, right? Noelle and Shunha do this thing where they do that with boulders. Like, they have that situation with boulders. I have no idea where to put Xianyan. Because technically Xianyan trained Ganyu and Shunha, but she also trains like Yao Yao. And she doesn't, like, I don't know what to do with Xianyan. Does Xianyan end up in question marks by virtue of training Shunha? That's actually a real question. How does Arlecchino fare against the whale? Also, we need to move Scaramouche. Whale. We need another tier here.
No, God! No, God, please, no! No!
Traveler is in this range right now. Like, Traveler sits around here right now, in between Child and Six Harbinger, which is a bit weird. Isn't Traveler better than Whale? Traveler ties with Whale, right? No, Traveler doesn't beat the Whale. He just holds it back. Traveler's holding back the Whale until Nouvelate gets in there. Okay, so let's add some tiers, and then we put a tier here. I think if Scaramouche gets the robot, Scaramouche goes around here. Fourth Harbinger range, like around this range. I think Scaramouche with a robot is around here. There. Non-player travel Hexen Circle level? I have no idea. We have no strength test for non-player character. I think we're good, right? I think this is like reasonable. Probably want to rename these tiers. Siege moves up. Chat, you guys just I'll let them vote. I'll let the people vote.
Manage democracy.
Alright, so Siege Wing gets self-defense. Alright. Congratulations on your 1 tier up. Sleeper cell activated. Where's Goku? God damn it. Maybe we need another tier. Around here. Do you think... Okay. Do you think Nahida can Samsara Arlecchino? Just put her in Hax tier. Well, what I'm saying is she's gonna get a Hax tier, but is she going above or below Arlecchino with the Hax tier? So if Nahida Samsaras you, but doesn't have the first stage of Booer to, like, do the work, she doesn't have combat ability. She also needs, like, a guy to hit you. So if you think that she can Samsara Arlecchino, then we'll put her here. So this is player character, this is player traveler. And currently we have Lumine here, aka foe enemy, Abyss Princess or Prince. There's a lot of question marks here though. We could reasonably put that there. Are we good on this? Are we good on this? Is this reasonable? Are there other points of contention other than where we put Gaming? I think this is reasonable. I think we ship it. Send it. Save. It's so long. We did it, chat.